What's up, YouTube? ODST General back again with another Operation Trebuchet update. I keep having to re-record this, one, because I don't know how to talk, but two, mainly because the devs keep updating everything. I've had a heck of a time trying to keep up with all the dev releases over the week, and, obviously this is our third video in short order, so there's a lot to cover. I want to go ahead and jump into it because just with a couple videos and the pictures I have, I've got about 8 minutes worth of content, which will probably get increased as I extend the images out to fit the audio I'm recording here. So the first thing we've got is the new sniper rifle. Now, if you guys were not aware, Zephyr Souza has been working on a new sniper rifle. We talked about it a little bit in the last update I did, the news video. Anyways, as you guys can see, progress has actually been coming along pretty nicely, but in fact, these pictures you look at here, they're already out of date. Now, as you can see, as we go through the pictures, it's kind of showing the progress, really, of the sniper from the 3D modeling program to the low poly versions to, help with lower graphic settings, stuff like that. Then we've got a textured version. Then we've got, the additional textures with the lighting and all that other stuff added. So that's the really high detail version. And then one of our final pictures here before this video is the rifle getting configured for in-game. Now, there was a bunch of other pictures and some videos since then, but the rifle has since been released to the public. It's seen several updates over the past 3-4 days that it's been out, and it's finally in working order. So I've got some video here for you guys to take a look at where it's actually in working order. And it's pretty neat stuff. So I set up a little scenario, not too much, only a couple guys, one in a truck, and, one on foot here, and a little bipod just to stand just because I don't have the bipod set up. So now you can see I'm shooting through the window here, and it's not making through. Now, I did make this shot on a previous attempt before trying to record this. Unfortunately, this rifle seems a tad bit inaccurate compared to the other sniper, or really any Arma sniper for that matter. However, if you're careful with your shots, take your time on them, you can get them pretty good. Now, you can see that shot actually did penetrate the window. The guy's still driving off, but I do believe I actually hit him. And, we'll see, because the truck ends up stopping a little bit later, and the guy was dead as I walked up. Now, I think that was actually from the sniper shot, because I actually do approach and start shooting several times with the light machine gun, but I think one of these shots actually managed to kill him. Anyways, as you can see, we did actually pop the guy on foot in one shot, one headshot. Now, I've seen a lot of variation with this rifle. It's not quite as consistent as the old sniper is. Now, it's certainly a much more beautiful looking rifle, and the idea behind this sniper is that it will be smaller and lighter, but also have a little bit more, capability of taking out certain vehicles like MRAPs and stuff. It won't have the penetration that the Halo 3 sniper has. And as you guys can see, we're kind of showing the differences off in the looks and stuff. The sniper is a bit smaller. Like I said, it uses different rounds. So it's just an all-around, it's supposed to be a different sniper, different tool. But obviously, because it is newer, using some of the newer modeling methods and stuff the devs have learned, it's definitely a vast improvement over the old sniper looks-wise. Now, personally, at this point in time, I do prefer the older sniper to it. But that's just my opinion. The older sniper here, I've got the truck with me now. 2 good shots to the tires. Those tires are gone. Now, obviously, the truck was a moving target, and maybe we could do the same. I haven't tested this with the other sniper stationary vehicle, so maybe it is just as capable. But I suspect it's probably not. Like I said, at the very least, it's less accurate. I do know that without a doubt. So, you can see, disabled the vehicle, piece of cake. But we gotta move on here. We've got some more stuff to show off to you guys, so we're gonna get into that stuff here in just a moment. But you guys get to look at the old sniper now running with that, kind of comparing it to the other new one. So beyond that, we've got some more stuff. We've got another new weapon. This is the XM510, which is based off the MG32, XM32, something like that. I can't remember what the actual grenade launcher is. I think it's the MG32. But it's a grenade launcher. It's seen in Halo Wars, so you can see that's where this picture is taken from. It's the only known instance of it. But beyond that, Wilk actually just went out. He modified this MG32, or the grenade launcher. He's put the SMG stock on there, put a new barrel on it, and just basically slapped together a kit bash. Now, I think that's it's not the most distinct weapon that's been added to Optre, but I will say that, something like a grenade launcher is a cool addition. It's definitely something that's a lot of people have been asking for. Obviously, people want the Reach version, which is a lot more difficult. Some people said, well, you're just taking somebody else's work and taking credit for it. Wilk has stated that this is basically Arma 2 weapon that the Arma devs, Bohemia, have basically said anybody can take and go ahead and modify and do stuff like that, add it to the game, whatever. And he's credited them for that. So if you guys have any issue with that, just bear that in mind, because that was a big deal for a lot of people on the forums. Like I said, though, maybe not my most favorite weapon from this new announcement, but I'm sure I will definitely get some gameplay time in with this once it comes out. Wilk's been working on a lot of other stuff, too, kind of interesting stuff. So the first thing we've got, and I actually probably should move this a little bit to the end of this section, but we'll talk about it now because it's here in front of me. We've got the neural interface, which they talk about in some of the Halo lore. That's what they use to control things like Scorpion tanks and stuff. Most of that's subdermal implants, so it's below the skin. This is the one they use for officers. You actually see it on Lord Hood as pictured here. So this is basically the final version of its texture. It's got the new UNSC logo, which I'm not a fan of, solely off the basis that it doesn't fit in this timeline, but it's fine. The actual thing doesn't have anything on it at all. It's just a metal plate. But yeah, so this will be used theoretically to drive the Scorpion tank. Here we've got a shot of it in-game while Wilk was working on it. And then here's another shot. This one's a little bit better. This is actually the thing configured in. You've got it next to items in-game for size comparison. So it's similar to an ammo pouch or a chem light or something. It's actually a little bit big as it stands right now. That's a fair bit bigger than it should be, but I think they're looking at resizing it. I'm not positive. Going on, we've got the M4 field disc. This one, I have no idea what their plans for use are. It might just end up being a prop. I don't know. But the M4 field disc, it's not edible, as you guys can see, but this is what they pulled out of Jenkins' helmet after he gets killed by the Flood. So if you guys have played through Halo 1, you get that cutscene where he falls in your hand and you go and you find his helmet on the floor and you pull the chip out and you watch the video. That's what this chip is. What role this will actually take in the game, if any, it might just be a prop. I don't know. We'll find out. The devs haven't... Well, Wilk hasn't talked about it. He's the one who's been posting this. This one's definitely a prop. This is the UNSC meal packets. These are the MRE rations. This one's chili and macaroni. It's best if used by 2556, so it should last you guys a while. It's pretty good. Not much else to say about it. Ammo packets. This one I'm kind of excited for. This is something I wanted a while ago, and in fact, I'm not really a modeler. I've got some modeling programs. I took a couple shots at it. I just never really could get the hang of it. This was one of the first projects I tried to do for the Operation Trebuchet team. It kind of came out less than stellar, so I'm very excited to see this because this is something I've wanted in the game for a while because I felt it was something relatively simple, but just a little nice thing. If you drop an MA5 round on the ground or not a round, but a magazine or something, or a battle rifle magazine, you get these ammo packets, or you could pick up the ammo packets and you get them. Yeah, we've got both of them here. We've got I think this is the MA5B for sure, and I think the battle rifle, but I'm not positive on that one. And one of the biggest things of the update, the elephant. Actually, it's literally the biggest, but also one of the things people are really excited for when they hear it and see it. This first shot is, I think, a config screenshots or something like that. You guys can see one of the guys inside the cockpit for size comparison. But after that is where it gets cool. Dog posted a few screenshots of this on the Operation Trebuchet Discord. However, when I told him I was actually recording the video, I was getting everything laid out. I was organizing all my pictures and is just about to start my audio recording. And Dog goes, well, hey, if you're doing a recording, hey, I've got some more pictures. So he gave me a bunch of exclusive pictures. So some of these you guys might have seen. Most of them you will have not. So as you guys can see looking at this thing, it is massive right now. It is huge. And we've talked about this in the last update, you know, when we saw some of the other pictures of it. You know, it's actually in-game now. And it is only a static object at this point. So this is just it's a decoration piece as it stands right now. As you can see, you can run on it, you can move on it, walk around as infantry. But collision, stuff like that, hasn't actually been set up with it. I don't know if it has any like physics or what it's actually got set up, but you are capable of walking on it, obviously. These shots where you've got your infantry standing next to it, that's where you really get the best sense of scale about this massive vehicle. You know, like we've kind of talked about the plans for it, so I'm not going to go over those again. But just enjoy the pictures of this. So I will say, though, they do have plans to add probably multiple versions of the Elephant from what it sounds like. So we'll have the Halo 3 version as well as the Halo Wars version, which is much smaller. And it's kind of got like an APC type of vibe to it. It carries probably about a squad of guys from what it looks like. Beyond that, we've got some more stuff from Wilk, which is building stuff. Great, we could use more building. So this one's kind of designed around use for probably the New Horizons map. A lot of farming stuff. He's kind of talked about his whole farming community he's got here and how this is supposed to fit to that. So the first image we got is, you know, a couple of flower beds here that you can see compared to the Reach versions where they kind of wrap around with the building, and then two big beds. They're kind of parallel to one another, and that's what those are. The second one's more flower beds, and these are like a stepped version too. But the final piece is probably the coolest. We've actually got not the same building, but a pretty similar building to that first one. There's a couple slight variations to it. It's actually pretty close to it, though. It's just a little bit more curved and everything. A couple variations, but definitely influenced by the Halo Reach farming buildings. Very excited to see this thing get yeah, fully modeled out, textured in-game, and all that other fun stuff. We've got some news from Drake Darren. Unfortunately, this time it's not Covenant news. Now, it's still pretty exciting. Drake has actually gone out and he's created a new UNSC weapon as a change of pace for his normal work. This weapon's based around the Halo Wars Wolverine, except for it's a stationary rocket launcher which will be controlled by UAV. Now, I don't know if this will work like the UAV from the Aliens mod, which is able of independently operating, firing its missiles and stuff, or, well, in the case of the Aliens version, it's machine gun rounds, but if this will be capable of self-firing rockets at aerial vehicles or ground targets or whatever. But it will be controlled by UAV. The computer panel you see on it will not be its control point. That's just for aesthetics in this case. In the second shot, you can see it going up against the... I can't remember what the stupid vehicle's called. It's the Spectre or something. Anyways, it's the Covenant bus. And you can see he's kind of added some lighting and particle effects to make it look like they're firing at each other. You know, the Covenant bus, I guess, will have the shade turret on the top, whereas the Gatling guns on top of the rockets here will actually fire, it seems, possibly. Then we've got some more stuff from Zephyr Souza. So, as you guys know, she was working on some female Marine parts for the armor and stuff like that. She's now actually going back and working on a base model. This was something she said she wasn't going to do, so now she's gone back and doing it. So yeah, in this you can just see these are basically going to be the underclothes for it. Whereas, you know, the male model gets a t-shirt and, you know, boxers or whatever. She's basically gets, you know, shorts and a tank top type of deal. The final picture here, she's got some camouflage, but as you can see, like, the clothes is like partially textured as flesh. This was only a test she did. This camouflage probably won't be in the final version, just worth mentioning. And then we've got a really brief video of her just testing the animations out with the female model, which should use just the Marine or the male animations. Beyond that, we've got news on the MA5K also being worked on by Zephyr Souza. Now, this is something I've talked about repeatedly over the past year, 2 years now, maybe. The MA5K is something I really wanted to see. Now, the version on screen now is 880 zeros. I was really excited for this. It's not really that close to the lore version, but it was a really slick-looking weapon. It was supposed to have the rail system, all that stuff. It's, as far as I know, it's still out there. The devs still have it, just never got configured or anything. Beyond that, that's all I know. Unfortunately, 880 quit modding. He actually was just talking on the Discord a while ago, but he doesn't even know what happened to this weapon. He doesn't know if it's going to make it into the game. Which he also mentioned, he talked about the MA5B and MA5C, which we've talked about before previously. Like I said, I don't have a lot of details on those weapons. We know what their roles are supposed to be like. We know what they look like. We just don't know what's going on with them. Unfortunately, he still doesn't know what's going on with those either, but he says the devs should have that still. So maybe one day, maybe in the next release, maybe not. We'll see. But back to the MA5K. So as you guys can see, there is... we've got the Reach version of the MA5K. Or not the Reach, the Ghost of Onyx version. I apologize for that. But, yeah, we've got the Ghost of Onyx version here. And it's pretty neat weapon. It's basically like a assault rifle, submachine gun kind of combination. Yeah, I'm trying to fix some pictures here, so I'm half distracted. But yeah, it's like a machine gun assault rifle kind of combo, a carbine, whatever you want to call it. You know, we only see it on the Ghost of Onyx cover, but they talk about the weapon quite a bit. It's almost like a bullpup type of rifle. Well, we're finally getting it. Zephyr Souza has taken on the task to work on the MA5K. She actually talked to my unit, the 17th ODST, and asked us what we would like to see in the game. There was 2 models that got really close, the MA5K and the Vulture. The MA5K technically lost, but she actually already had this primarily completed, so she's decided she's going to go ahead and work on finishing it first anyways because the Vulture is going to take so long. But she is going to now work on the Vulture at some point. It is going to take her quite a long time, so don't get too hyped up about that yet. But probably expect the MA5K to be the next weapon released in Zephyr Souza's Optre Z modification alongside the sniper rifle. This may or may not see release before the actual mod, but at the rate she went with the sniper, I wouldn't be surprised if this gets released before the next mod update. So expect an MA5K probably sometime soon. With that being said, it won't have a rail system, anything like that. It's going to be iron sights only. It might have a smart link zoom like the assault rifle does. Magazine size, anything like that, I'm not sure. Obviously, you can see the round. The round's relatively small with it. Right now, they're in the process of working on texturing, seeing what they like for the textures. This one's got some slight variations from the Reach version, but it's still a lot closer than Zero's. Still, I wouldn't mind seeing both in-game. I think Zero's could possibly be a take on like an MA3 or something, MA2 even, maybe. Slightly different, but close enough that I could see it taking on that role. So that's all really big news. There's a lot of cool stuff in there, a lot of dev-related stuff. Actually, it's all dev-related. A lot of models, things like that. Really tangible stuff in this update. But it's about to get blown away because, as you guys know, there is a Scorpion in the game. I've talked about the Scorpion. The Scorpion's supposed to have 2 cockpits. Still kind of deciding on what's going on with that, and Rabbit335 has been working on adding that into the game. But now we've got a second Scorpion tank. So, an individual, and I forget his name, I want to say it's like White Face or something, I can't remember. White Wall, I can't remember what it is. It's like White something. Anyways, he's gone ahead and he's worked on a Scorpion, and he's got it in-game. He posted that on the Reddit one day out of the blue. He's not part of the dev team, but he's been actually now, since he's made that post, working with the dev team, and they're trying to kind of figure out how this Scorpion will work alongside the other one. His variation only has 1 cockpit, but as you guys can see from the screenshots, it actually takes a crew of 3 people to man this. The other 2 positions are just hidden inside the tank due to the limitations of Arma's engine. which is something else I've talked about. The devs did not know how to overcome that. Well, as it turns out, Big Wilk has been working on that too. So if you guys watch this video here, I'm gonna shut up for a minute while we had this video running. But Wilk here. Oh. Apparently, was playing audio files while I was recording this. But anyways, you can see Big Wilk has been working on a script. He's got this in place with some normal tanks where he's able to drive and fire all on his own. Pretty neat stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut up for just a moment here, though. Alright guys, as this video comes to a wrap up, we're actually going to wrap up our video here on my end too. There's a lot of neat stuff in here, a lot of cool stuff, like I said, all very tangible. Some of it coming a lot sooner than others. Like I said, definitely keep an eye out for Zephyr Souza stuff, especially since she is releasing it separate from the main mod. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends. Keep tuning back in for more Operation Trebuchet news and announcements. And take it easy and enjoy the new content, guys.